Okay, so sa video na ito ay pag-aaralan natin ang tungkol sa limit. So introduction muna. First, we will discuss the intuitive notion of a limit, and then we'll continue with some theorems on how to evaluate certain limits. So what is a limit? Okay. Now, before we go to the definition that we have here, let me just draw a function. Okay, so suppose ito yung y-axis natin, ito yung x-axis, and then ito yung function natin. Yan. And then suppose ito yung value na x equals a. Ayan. Now suppose na habang yung x natin, so halimbawa andito yung x, papalapit siya ng papalapit sa a, yan, but it does not become equal to a. Okay. So habang yung x lumalapit sa a, yung value ng function natin, it gets closer to some number L. Ayan. So in this case, ito yung L natin. Okay. So habang yung x lumalapit sa a, yung value ng function lumalapit naman dito sa L. Okay. So when that happens, then we say that the limit of f of x as x approaches a is L, and then we write this. Okay. Now, when x gets closer to a, there are actually two ways that can happen. So either x approaches a from the left, or x approaches a from the right. Okay. So let's look at an example. So suppose ito yung function natin, x over 2 plus 1, and then we want x to approach 3. So here we are evaluating the limit of x over 2 plus 1 as x approaches 3. Now let me just pull up Desmos here. Okay, so ito yung Desmos, and then let's input this function. So x over 2 plus 1, so f of x is equal to x over 2 plus 1. So this is a straight line with y-intercept 1 and slope 1/2. And then let me also draw the line x equals 3. So ito yung value ng x na gusto nating lapitan ng x. Palit lang pala ng kulay. And then let me draw a point. Okay, ito yung point that will signify what's happening to the function. Okay. And then let's show the label. Okay. So dito sa label natin, nakikita natin yung x and y coordinates itong point natin. So itong 1, for example, ito yung x coordinate nitong point na to. And then itong 1.5, siya naman yung y coordinate. In other words, yung value ng function. Ngayon, papalapitin natin ngayon yung point na to papunta dito sa line na x equals 3. Itong dashed line natin. So tingnan natin kung anong mangyayari. Okay. So here, x is approaching 3. And look at what happens to the value of y. Now maybe let me just turn off the grid. Ayan. Okay, so galawin natin itong point na to, and then papalapitin natin yung x sa 3. Okay. So, tingnan natin yung mga nangyari sa value ng y. So, we have 2.275, 2.3, 2.32, 2.34. Maybe let's zoom in. Let's zoom in a bit. Okay, 2.48, 2.49, okay, 2.495, 2.4995, yeah, 2.4995. So as we can see, when we approach x, when x approaches 3 from the left, yung value ng function natin papuntang 2.5. Okay. Kung galing naman tayo sa kanan, oops, ba't nagalaw ko tong, ayan. Kung galing naman tayo sa kanan, so we have 2.55, 2.52, 2.502, 2.5002, and yun, and so on. So, kung galing tayo sa kanan, 2.5 din yung value na pinupuntahan ng function natin. So, from that observation, we can say that the limit as x approaches 3 is equal to 2.5 or 5.2. Sorry, 5 over 2 rather. Okay, now let's look at this function. So, evaluate natin to without actually sketching the function in Desmos. Okay, so you might think that this function, tawagin natin ng f. And you might think that f of x is equal to the constant function 1. But actually, hindi. Okay. Kasi itong function na to, ang domain niya ay set of real numbers. But x over 3 over x, x minus 3 over x minus 3 is a function whose domain is the set of real numbers. Yan. Except x equals 3. So, kung i-sketch natin yung graph nitong function, yan. So, it's equal to 1 except when x is equal to 3. So, drawing natin siya. Suppose dito yung y equals 1. Ayan. Now, when x equals 3, our function is not defined. So, may hole itong graph natin. Na doon sa previous example natin, yung graph ng function natin, walang hole. So, medyo intuitive na habang lumalapit yung x sa 3, yung limit is actually just the expression that you get when you replace x here by 3. 3 divided by 2 plus 1 is exactly 5 over 2. Yeah. Now, what I want to emphasize in this example is when we are talking about limits, we're only interested in the values of x dito sa values of f of x rather when x is close to 3. Okay. So it's very close to 3. So kung malapit tayo sa 3, we should be close to some value. Now, even though yung function natin is not defined when x is equal to 3, okay, yung mga values ng function natin when x is not equal to 3 is still equal to 1. Ayan. So yung limit natin is equal to 1 even though the function itself is not defined at x equals 3. Okay, so let's look at this example. So evaluate the limit of f of x as x approaches 3, where f of x is this piecewise defined function. So it's equal to x squared when x is not equal to 3, and it's equal to 4 when x is equal to 3. So sketch natin yung graph nitong function na to. So we know that the graph of x squared is a parabola. So let's sketch that parabola. Yung vertex natin will be at the origin. Okay, so dito. Let me redraw my y-axis kasi hindi siya straight. Ayan. And then, let me delete this. Ay, oops. Ayan. So, yung vertex natin ay nasa origin. Ayan. When x is equal to 1, x squared is equal to 1. When x is equal to 2, x squared is equal to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, connect natin. Now, in the process of connecting this, we need to avoid what we usually get when x is equal to 3, and that is 9. So, let me just extend my y-axis further. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. And then let me connect the 3 points that we have here. And then when we get to x equals 3, merong hole yung function natin. Ayan. Now, let me extend that, or rather reflect that to the other side. Okay, so this is what the parabola looks like. Yeah. So it's the usual parabola, pero meron tayong hole dito sa point na x equals 3 and y equals 9. Okay. Now, when x is equal to 3, yung value ng function natin ay 4. So, andito actually yung point. So, 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Okay. So, ito yung graph ng function natin. So, ano mangyayari kapag yung x pinalapit natin sa 3? Now, again, just like in the previous example, we're only interested in what happens when x is close to 3. So, actually, itong value ng function natin, which is represented by this point, is irrelevant in our computation of this particular limit. Okay? So, habang lumalapit tayo sa x equals 3, for example, 2.9, 2.999, 2.9999, and so on, yung mga square nun, they will become closer and closer to 9. Yeah. So, same thing kung galing tayo sa kanan. 3.1, 3.01, 3.001. Okay? So, 9 din yung value na lalapitan nun. Even though the value of the function itself is not 9, but 4. Yeah. So, therefore, let's write our result. The limit as x approaches 3 is equal to 9. Okay. Now, let's look at the concept of one-sided limits. Okay. So, I mentioned earlier na we have two ways for approaching x. Pwedeng galing sa kaliwa, pwedeng galing sa kanan. And each of those ways of approaching x sometimes yields a different value for x. So, minsan, iba yung value na pinupuntahan ni f of x habang yung x ay papunta sa kaliwa, habang yung x ay galing sa kaliwa, at iba rin kung yung x natin ay galing sa kanan. Okay? So, dito ngayon, pumapasok yung konsepto ng one-sided limits. Okay? So, suppose that as x gets closer to a, okay? So, through values less than a, So, kung ito yung real line natin, ito yung A. Okay. So, dito galing yung X sa kaliwa. Okay. So, while that is happening, f of x gets closer to a number L. So, when that is the case, then we say that the limit of f of x as x approaches A from the left is L. So, meron tayong notation. It's similar to our notation for the limit, except na to signify na galing tayo sa kaliwa ng A, yung A lalagyan natin ng superscript na minus sign. Hindi to exponent in the usual sense. What this is saying is galing tayo sa kaliwa ng kaliwa ng A. So, ganun din naman, kung galing tayo sa kanan, suppose x gets closer to A through values greater than A, f of x, suppose that as x gets closer to A, through values greater than A, f of x gets closer to L. And then we say that the limit of f of x as x approaches A from the right is L, and we write it in this manner. Okay, so yung superscript naman natin ay yung plus sign. So let's look at some examples. Okay. By the way, so meron tayong remark. Yung limit natin nag-i-exist siya kung yung limit papunta sa kaliwa ng A ay equal sa limit papunta sa kanan ng A, or rather not papunta but galing. So again, yung limit ng x, limit ng f of x as x approaches A, nag-i-exist siya kung yung limit as x approaches A from the left is equal to the limit as x approaches A from the right. Okay. Now, tingnan natin itong example na to. So, meron tayong piecewise defined function g of x. Sketch natin yung graph niya. Now, when x is less than 3, suppose dito yung 3. Yung value ng function natin ay 2. Okay. Pero since hindi kasama yung 3 sa interval na to, I'm going to signify that by drawing a hollow circle dito sa endpoint na to nung part ng graph. Ayan. Now, when x is greater than or equal to 3, the value of the function is 1. Pero included na yung 3 dito sa interval natin, so I'm going to signify that with a circle na shaded. Okay. So, let's evaluate the limit. Now, obviously, this limit does not exist. Kasi, when we approach from the right, and when we approach from the left, magkaiba yung value na lalapitan ng g of x. So, in symbols, we have this. The limit as x approaches 3 from the left of g of x is equal to 1. Okay, so kung galing tayo sa kaliwa, dito dadaan yung so itong portion ng function yung ititrace natin. At yung value ng g of x dito ay 2. Ayan. Kung galing naman tayo sa kanan, okay, we have 1. So, dahil magkaiba yung limit natin from the left and from the right, yung limit as x approaches 3 rather, of g of x does not exist. Ayan. We abbreviate that as DNA. Now, let's look at this example. So, ang function natin ay square root of x minus 3. Sketch natin yung graph niya. Ngayon, dahil meron tayong radical function, defined lang ito kung yung nasa loob natin ay non-negative. Okay. So, square root of x minus 3 is defined when x minus 3 is greater than or equal to 0. And that is equivalent to saying that x is greater than or equal to 3. Ayan. So, dito tayo pwedeng magsimula sa 3 and then papunta sa kanan. So, when x is equal to 3, gamit ako ng ibang kulay. So, when x is equal to 3, the square root of x minus 3 is just the square root of 3 minus 3. So, 0. When x is equal to 4 rather, when x is equal to 4, we have square root of 4 minus 3, which is equal to 1. And then you can continue with other points, but I'm already happy with the 2 points that I have here. Kukonek ko lang sila. Ayan, and then I'm going to draw a slight curve since hindi straight line yung graph natin. Okay, so ito yung graph ng square root of x minus 3. Now, what is now the limit as x approaches 3 from the left? Okay. Now, in the first place, can we actually approach 3 from the left? Meron ba tayong mga values ng f of x na makukuha? Okay. Halimbawa, when x is equal to 1, ano yung value ng f of x natin? When x is equal to 2, 2.1, 2.5, 2.9, 2.999, and so on. Okay. So, wala, since yung mga values na yun wala sa domain ng f. So, therefore, itong limit galing sa kaliwa ng 3 ay hindi nag-exist. So, it does not exist. Okay. Now, kung galing naman tayo sa kanan, ayan. So, dito wala ng problema since nasa loob na tayo ng domain ng function. Ayan. And from the graph, it's obvious that the value of f of x approaches 0. Okay. Sabi natin kanina, nag-exist yung function, yung limit natin kung yung limit from the left ay equal sa limit from the right. Now, itong condition na to, hindi ito masasatisfy ng function kapag hindi nag-exist yung isa sa dalawang ito. Yung isa sa dalawang one-sided limits natin. So, therefore, itong limit natin na to, this limit does not exist. So, again, kailan hindi nag-exist ang isang limit? Okay. Doon sa previous example natin, it does not exist kapag magkaiba yung limit from the left tsaka yung limit from the right. Dito naman sa example na to, meron tayong one-sided limit na hindi nag-exist. Okay. So, the moment na at least one of the two one-sided limit does not exist, then yung the limit itself does not exist. Okay. Now, from this point onwards, we're going to build the theorems that we need to evaluate limits efficiently. Because it's not always the case na kaya nating i-sketch yung graph ng function. So, kailangan natin ng mga results para makapag-compute tayo ng limits ng mabilis. So, this is the first of those theorems. In the next lessons, we will get to other techniques. So, let's look at this theorem. Okay. So, the first thing that the theorem is saying, is that if the limit exists, then it is unique. Okay. So, it can only one number. And then number 2, if c is a real number, then the limit of c as x approaches a is just c. So the limit of a constant is itself. And then the limit of x as x approaches a is equal to a. Okay. So hindi na natin ipaprove itong mga results na to dahil medyo obvious ang mga ito. Now here we have a collection of results involving limits. Okay, so it's not necessary that you memorize these 5 sets of equations. Actually, more than 5, since some of them involve more than one equal symbol. So instead of memorizing this, you need to just know what these results are saying. Okay. So ano yung assumption natin? The limit as x approaches a of f is equal to L sub 1. Okay. So the fact na in-state natin to, that means itong limit ay nag-exist. Okay. And then, so yung limit ng f as x approaches a is equal to L sub 1, and the limit of g as x approaches a is equal to L sub 2. Okay. Now let's see be a constant and n be a natural number. So then, tingnan natin kung ano yung sinasabi ng first statement, first result natin. The limit of f of x plus or minus g of x is equal to the limit of f plus or minus the limit of g, which is L sub 1 plus or minus L sub 2. So, ang sinasabi nitong first result, the limit of the sum or difference of two functions is the sum or difference of their limits. So, dito naman, limit of f times g is equal to limit of f times limit of g, which is equal to L sub 1 times L sub 2. In other words, the limit of the product of two functions is the product of the limits. So number 3, so kapag may function tayo na f, tapos nag-multiply tayo ng constant, anong mangyayari dun anong effect dun sa limit? Okay. Ang mangyayari, pwede lang natin i-factor out yung constant. Yung limit ng c times f is equal to c times the limit of f, which is equal to c times L sub 1. Okay. By the way, if you notice, medyo weird na itong part na to na x approaches a ay nasa lower right corner ng limit symbol. Okay? This sometimes happens when you typeset an equation using a program. Okay? But when you are writing down the limits, never write it this way. So yung x approaching a na part, lagi nyong ilagay sa ilalim ng limit symbol. Okay. So number 4, limit ng f divided by g is equal to limit of f divided by limit of g. Okay. Provided that yung limit ng denominator natin, which is L2, is not equal to 0. Okay, so anong sinasabi ng number 4? The limit of the quotient of two functions is the quotient of their respective limits. And then number 5, the limit of f raised to n is equal to quantity, the limit of f raised to n. Okay, so yung limit ng power na isang function is the power of the limit of that function. So parang ang nangyayari, parang pinapasok natin yung limit dito sa loob itong outermost parenthesis natin. So as a note, this result, so all of these results hold for one-sided limits, okay, provided that the limits involved exist. So gamitin natin yung result na yun to evaluate this limit. Okay, so we have the limit of x cubed minus 4x plus 2, then we raise that to 10 as x approaches 2. So dun sa last part natin, sabi dito sa number 5, pwede nating ipasok yung limit. Ayan, so papasok ko ngayon yung limit. Limit as x approaches 2 ng x cubed minus 4x plus 2. And then, Sabi dito sa first result, yung limit ng sum or difference is the sum or difference of the limits. So, pwede ko ngayong i-evaluate yung limit nito isa-isa. So, ang mangyayari, this is what we will get. So, this whole thing raised to 10, and then I have limit as x approaches 2 of x cubed minus limit as x approaches 2 of 4x plus limit as x approaches 2 of the constant 2. Okay? Now, ano ngayon itong limit ng x cubed? Okay. So, dun sa first theorem natin, we know that the limit as x approaches of x as x approaches a is just a. Combining that with the fifth result here in this theorem, yung limit ngayon ng x cubed is just 2 cubed. Okay. Now, dito naman, meron tayong constant na 4. Okay. And by the previous theorem, itong number 3, pwede kong ilabas yung constant. So, lalabas yung constant. So, meron tayong 4 times limit of x as x approaches 2. And then plus, ito, constant lang to, itong 2. So, yung limit niya ay yung sarili niya. So, saan yan galing? Dito yan galing sa unang theorem natin. Okay. And then, all of this is raised to 10. Okay. And now, 2 cubed is equal to 8, and then minus 4. And then, the limit of x as x approaches 2 is just 2, and then plus 2, and then everything raised to 10. Ayan. So, pwede na natin itong evaluate. It's just 8 minus 4 times 2. That's 0 plus 2. So, we have 0 plus 2, which is just 2. So, 2 raised to 10 ang limit natin. Okay. Now, as you can see, marami tayong steps na ginawa, but in the future, you can just go ahead and right away, you can just plug in 2 from this expression. Since yung makukuha ninyo when you plug in x equals 2 in the function is an actual number, and that number will be the limit. So 2 cubed minus 4 times 2 plus 2, that's equal to 2 raised to 10. Okay. So evaluate natin itong limit na to. So now, hindi ko na gagamitin yung theorem na so kanina hindi na natin ulitin to, na step by step natin pinakita. So ginawa ko lang siya para ma-illustrate yung first two theorems natin. But from here onwards, let's do this the quick way. So plug in natin yung x dito, where x is equal to 1. Okay. Now, you can't always do that. You can only do that if the resulting expression is defined. Okay. So, ano nga ba yung limit? So, meron tayong quotient. So, the limit of a quotient is the quotient of the limits. But provided that both limits exist. Okay. So, nag-i-exist nga ba yung limit ng numerator at yung limit ng denominator? Well, yung limit ng numerator ay 4 times 1 squared, so 4, plus 5 times 1, so 5, plus 5. So, nag-i-exist yung limit ng numerator. It's equal to 40. And then, ano naman yung limit ng denominator? Okay. Yung limit ng denominator ay 1 plus 1. So, that's equal to 2. So, nag-i-exist siya. Dahil yung limit ng numerator at yung limit ng denominator ay nag-i-exist, applicable yung previous theorem natin. So, ano na ngayon ito? This is equal to 14 divided by 2, which is 7. And that's our limit. Now, we can make this general remark. Okay. So, if p of x is a polynomial, then the limit of that polynomial as x approaches 0 is just the polynomial evaluated at a. Okay. So, for polynomials, you can just go straight away to simple substitution. Now, if f of x is a rational function and f of a is defined. Okay. Kailan nga ulit define ng isang rational function? Kapag yung denominator niya ay hindi magiging 0. Okay. So, when that is the case, then the limit of f as x approaches a is just f evaluated at a. So, for rational functions, just like polynomials, you can go straight into substituting a into your function as long as yung rational function mo defined. Wala kang 0 na denominator. Okay. So, when the denominator becomes 0, we will address that in future lessons. Okay. So, for now, as long as your function is defined, just go ahead and replace x by a. Okay. So, we have another theorem. Okay. So, suppose the limit of f as x approaches a exists, and n is equal to, and n is a natural number. Then, the limit of the nth root of the function as x approaches a is the nth root of the limit. So, the limit of the nth root is the nth root of a limit, of the limit. Okay. Pero meron tayong disclaimer dito. Provided that yung limit ng function natin ay positive kapag yung index ay even. Okay. So, kailangan positive since hindi defined yung radical expression kung yung nasa loob niya. Itong part na to. Yan. Kung ito ay negative, then hindi ito defined. So again, this theorem also holds for one-sided limits, provided that the limits involved exist. So let's look at some examples. Okay. Now, you need to be careful when dealing with radical functions. Okay. Kung odd yung index natin, then walang problema kasi lagi namang defined ang odd root ng isang number. Pero kung even, check muna natin kung yung limit ng nasa loob ay positive or negative. So, dito, yung limit ng nasa loob ay, in other words, yung limit ng x squared plus 5 ay 1 squared plus 5. So, the limit is equal to the fourth root of the limit of x squared plus 5. And that's equal to 6. So, positive naman ng 6. So, therefore, ito na yung limit natin. Okay, so meron tayong cube root. Okay. For odd indices, wala tayong problema. Pwede nyo nang ipasok diretso yung limit. So, cube root ng limit nitong negative x cubed minus 9. Okay. When x approaches 1. So, that's negative 1 cubed. Negative 1 lang yun. Or rather, negative ng 1 cubed. So, negative 1 minus 9, and that's cube root of negative 10. Now, for cube roots and other odd roots, pwede nyo ilabas yung negative. So, negative cube root of 10. Okay, so dito naman. Okay, so square root. So, yung index natin ay even. Okay. So, bago natin ipasok itong limit dun sa loob ng radical, kailangan yung limit nung nasa loob ng radical, itong 1 minus x squared, dapat non-negative. So, ano nga ba yung limit na yun? Okay. So, when x approaches 2, yung limit ng 1 minus x squared ay 1 minus 4. So, negative. Negative yung nasa loob ng radical. So, therefore, dahil even yung index natin, yung limit na to ay hindi nag-exist. So the limit does not exist since this thing, which is equal to negative 3, is less than 0. Okay. So I think this is the last, this is the last example. Meron tayong piecewise defined function, na merong radical function at rational function. Evaluate natin yung limit as x approaches 1. So since piecewise yung function natin, we need to evaluate the one-sided limit separately. Okay. Dapat equal yung mga one-sided limits natin. So let's start with the limit as x approaches 1 from the left. Okay. So kung galing tayo sa kaliwa ng 1, ito ngayon yung susundin nating condition. And yung function natin, ito yung definition niya when x is less than 1. Okay. So when x is less than 1, the limit of f of x is equal to the limit of f of x as x approaches 1 from the left is the limit of square root of 5 minus x. Ngayon, even yung index natin. So, tingnan natin ano yung limit ang nasa loob when x is equal to 1. We just have 5 minus 1, which is 4, so positive. So, therefore, yung limit ay square root of 4, which is equal to 2. Ngayon, kung galing naman tayo sa kanan ng x, kanan ng 1, ayan. And then, yung limit ay equal sa limit ng, okay, so ano yung interval na pasok? Ito, x is greater than 1, and the function is equal to this, 2x squared minus x over 2x minus 4. Rational function ito. So, pwede lang tayong mag-replace ng x kung yung denominator natin ay hindi 0. So, ano yung denominator natin? When x is equal to 1, we have 2 times 1 minus 4, which is negative 2. So, hindi 0. So, we can go straight away to substituting x by 1. So, we have 2 times 1 squared. So, that's just 2 minus 1. Yan. And then, kanina, nakuha natin 2 times 1 minus 4 is negative 2. So, we have 2 minus 1, which is 1, divided by negative 2. So, negative 1/2. Okay, so hindi equal yung one-sided limits natin. Therefore, the limit as x approaches 1 of f of x does not exist.